sadly is pretty much every contact we encounter.
Okay, well, you can wrap it up in that one thing about the gentle touch and how it is killing us. What did you get out of that, Brother Dwight?
The first thing they talked about for us as was just sex. Mm-hmm. So again, these things what they're talking about the symptoms.
Yes.
After
Yes.
the touch.
Yes.
The root is a man wasn't being touched.
That's right.
Then the symptom or cause that is that we do certain things in for the sex.
Yes.
Or because our behavior, generally speaking, as men.
Yes.
We're not gonna be trusted.
That's right. We're not.
Because of that, we will have to prove ourselves.
Yes.
For
Yes.
Being trusted and
yes.
things like that.
Yes. And the reason why we're not trusted as men, because we have been fooled for so long by the enemy that a man is a dog because all he wants is one thing. And why is it that we only want one thing? Because society has, because of the lack of touch in our lives growing up. Uncontrollable. So all we know, the only touch we know is physical when it comes to a woman.
Right.
We don't know about anything else because we have not been taught that.
That's right.
So the only way we can express our love and our feeling is through the sexual behaviors that we have, and we act those things out with women, and we don't have a commitment towards them because we don't know how to make a commitment either.
That's right.
So we lack commitment because we have no emotions. We have not been taught how to show our emotions, and then we don't show the emotions because we have not been taught how to touch in a compassionate way. That's right. And not in a sexual way. So that kills us because we're losing on all three fronts. We're losing in the compassion department, we're losing in the emotion compartment, and we're losing in the isolation department.
I know one time broadcast we did, I think it talks about being compassionate, sensitive,
yes,
and
yes,
vulnerable.
yes, yes.
And it tells us for that how a man should be equipped with those things.
Yes.
Jesus was equipped with those.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly. Let's go down to the bottom of the page. Let's go down to we as American men have a tragic laundry list of reasons why we are not comfortable with touch. All right. One, we fear being labeled as sexually inappropriate by women.
That's right.
And we do that. That happens all the time. Two, we live in a violently homophobic culture. So all contact between men is suspect, which is true. And that's the enemy's job, is to create that atmosphere like that. All right. Thirdly, we don't want to risk any hint of being sexual towards children.
Wow.
And we have a lot of problems with that. You know, with what do they call that? Pedophilia. We have a lot of problems with that because that's another reason why that exists, is because that young boy was not touched and caressed in a loving way when he was a child.
So he thinks it's okay to do to other children.
That's right. So the only touch he knew was the abuse that he experienced, not in a loving way, but in a downgraded way of taking advantage of him. So he takes that same behavior, what the enemy had came in and whatever was done to him, he's going to take it out on somebody else.
That's right.
4, we don't want to risk our status as macho or authoritative by being physically gentle. You know, women call you soft. I want a real man. I want somebody that's gonna stand up for me. Well, sometimes that man all men ain't the same across the board. You got some men that are compassionate more than others. They are more sensitive men than others. He ain't gonna always be that way. So you got to learn how to, women, you got to learn how to be able to discern what type of man you have. You know? Come on now, we talked about this in our last couple of broadcasts before. We don't ever want to deal with rejection. We talked about this a minute ago, Brother White, when we reach out. And in our touch adverse culture, that is most likely outcome of being bad, meaning if we do these certain type of things or we act these type of behaviors, we're going to be looked down upon. And we as men, we don't want to be looked down upon negatively. You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's close it out on this, Brother Dwight. This is going to be it. Touch isolation and system boys learn interdependence creates an isolating trap for men. And what I want you to do, I want you to read all the italicized words, and now we'll close out on that, sir.
The cult of independence tells little boys over and over again to man up. As that is the single answer to all the world's problems. Not surprisingly, surprisingly, we are dealing with a lot of anger and violent boys who, as an expression of their emotional isolation, lash out over and over again. Man up, indeed.
Yes. See, there's that problem again. Man up or suck it up. You know, we're creating that problem right there. You talked about that earlier on how the separation of man, if that boy is not touched by the father in a certain way or taught a certain way, then he's going to grow up thinking that's the way he should be.
That's right.
You know, and we talk about the 9-year-old boy. You remember when he said, "Now it's time for you. We ain't gonna do this no more. It's not you 9 years old. You gotta be a man."
That's right.
Why does it have to stop there? It's that supposed to be continued through the rest of his life. So when a father, have you ever seen movies or on your family meetings around the holidays, you see an uncle or somebody, and they come in, what's the first thing you do when you see him? You hug him? 9 times 10, generally speaking, or you grab his hand and shake your hand, right? See, the touch is gone, right? There it is. See, so that it's a traditional thing, all right?
Women are as responsible as men for privilege and perpetrating the American Code of Independence.
Yes.
Treating the cartoon catwalks of gender even as they wax disappointed in the very male
Stylicism, meaning that they hide their pain. They're good at hiding their pain. That's what that means.
They are a party to
the perpetrating.
Okay. Okay, so this right here will break it down. American women talk a good game about wanting men to connect emotionally.
Okay.
But it takes a strong woman to care for a man in the same way that men are asked to care for women.
Yes.
Because when the tears and insecurity of men are finally teased out, many women say, "You're not the man I thought I was."
Come on
with.
now. Come on
You're just
now.
looking for your mama. Indeed, we are. But the shock of that dirty little secret is only a challenge. If you expect your man to provide emotional care without seeking it in return, because when you open up the well of suppressed male pain, it's a storm that will wreck every covenant, macho Hollywood assumption about man you ever had.
Praise God.
We are not strong, we are weak. Good. Because we have not faced our own demons. And in part, this is because when we attempt to do so publicly, we are shamed and rejected often by our own wives and partners, immediately made to walk the plank all over again.
Good God from Zion.
So it goes about males, about us being in so much bondage with our own emotions. About us, we buried it so much. So then when we finally do meet that one, when we ready to just release it all, they ain't ready for it.
They condemn us because they are the perpetrators as well, because they have been conditioned by the subliminal messages that they see on television, what they see in the street. So they take that same thing. They want the compassionate man. They want that kind of man, but when he really comes, they're not able to handle it.
That's right.
So they're just as at fault as we are. Good God from Zion. I'm going to read the second part, Brother Dwight, and then I'm going to let you read the last 2 or 3. This is the reason the frequency of sex often becomes the single most challenging issue for couples. Men often key on sex as an attempt to bridge our way back to the gentle conforming touch of our distant childhoods. That long absence can never quite be recaptured or recalled. The orgasm becomes a surrogate for that last contact, a moment of male safety and security when the white flare of pleasure leaves lost behind. So what does that tell us then? So all we have when it comes to our touch, when it comes to men, is that release sexually. You see what I'm saying? So that's all we have. It becomes a surrogate part for us to release that. And once we have that, we don't have anything else. You see? So what happens is that's why sex is so prominent in our society today, is because that's the only way we can show our masculinity is through a sexual act. But in actuality, that's really degrading us more because we have no. Is that the only emotion you have?
That's right.
Is through sexual release with a woman? No. But society has put us in the enemy has put us in a box and said, this is the way you're going to act, and if you act any other way outside of the box, then we're going to condemn you.
That's right.
But in actuality, we are really destroying ourselves and our boys because we teach them the same behaviors that we're doing, and we pass it down generation to generation and generation to generation, and then we wonder why men are the way they are.
That's right. Yeah.
Good. I ain't gonna give you no more of that. Go it down some, brother, and start where go down where it says, and regardless of what. Break down almost in
regardless of what's marrying issue women have in our culture, until men start self-medicating through a repetitive and medical reliance on sexual orgasm,
yes,
we would never be in a position to demand equal emotional accountability.
That's right.
From women.
Yes.
As long as sex remains the proof of our connection and validation,
yes,
we will always be at risk of reducing our human relationship to that narcotic standard.
Yes. Go ahead, brother.
It goes back with what you just said prior about for us is focused on that element for us that downgrade us. Then at the same time,
it does.
You have the women already thinking that that's all we want is
that's
men.
all we want is men.
So then they not going that makes them not want to deal with you.
Yeah. But they understand. But see, they're buying into what society's already put us on. So yes, we are told that this is what we should do, but actuality, they're buying into the same thing. But that's not really who we are.
That's right.
But we blaming. See, we go back to blaming the person. We're looking at the symptom, but we're not looking at the root.
That's right.
We're not looking at the root is the enemy, how he planted the seed of deception in the garden, and that's where it started. From that point all the way to this point, that's where it happened in the garden. The deception. That means all you need to be concerned about is sex. That's it. And they're gonna look at you as a dog, but it's all right for a man to be called a dog, long as he's called a big dog. You know what I'm saying? Another man don't want you to call him a small dog. He want to be the big dog, right?
That's right.
Come on. That's how society is. As long as we the big dog, we got all the women doing what we got to do. We a man. But in actuality, you're not a man because you don't even know how to stay in contact. You're not connected to your emotions. You're not connected to your feelings for somebody else because you can't touch another man in a non-sexual homophobic way. And now you're not able to really show love to the woman in your life because all you think about is sex. Because that's what the enemy has told you to do from generation to generation to generation. It's been passed down, and now all we see is sex. Because if that's not true, brother, what do you see on television every time you turn that TV on?
Something about sex.
There it is. Something about sex. And who does that? The enemy.
The enemy. And it goes back to what you said, whoever controls the media.
There it is.
Controls the culture.
There it is.
Which is the enemy.
That's
controlling that person.
There you go. There it is. Because they want money. The root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. Right or wrong. There it is. Good God, man. Man, this has been. Woo. Go ahead. This ended on out, brother.
That's the heart.
Yes, sir. No, go down. No, I want you. No. I want you to go down to connection. Connection. That connection that's restricted.
Connection that we strip out of our young boys' lives for far less valid reasons. Because we think they need to be tougher.
Yes.
Because we think independence is a core American value and a valuable central philosophy for creating a good life.
Yes.
It is not. Independence is the illusion of strength. Our culture obsessed with independence is fabricating our society because it teaches us that we don't need each other, and when in fact we do.
Yes.
We are in fact hardwired to be interdependent.
Yes.
We need each other. We need each other emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Yes.
And the vast majority of men and women are starving for an interdependent connection in our lives.
That's right. And with the word interdependent, that means a connection. Inter. We got to have a connection with ourselves, and we can have independent with somebody else. Independent means by yourself.
That's right.
We need to be able to connect with one another. And we don't have that. That's right. If we don't have the connection, brother, we have nothing.
That's right.
We have nothing. And that's why we are in the condition that we're in the world, because we have been separated to think that we can do things with me, myself, and I. I don't need nobody else. And that's how we as men think. We don't need nobody else. We can do it ourselves. That's what the problem is. Good God from Zion. Woo.
There will always be men who are comfortable with what might be called traditional masculinity.
Yes.
If that works for you, go with it. But we need to ensure there is a much wider cultural space for men who want to perform masculinity differently.
Yes.
We have to break out of the man box.
Yes.
And as part of breaking out, we need to start privilege, independence over interdependence.
There you go. There you go.
At the heart of connection is our willingness and capable to hold and care for each other.
Yes.
This is a central life lesson we can substantially learn from and teach our young sons by keeping them close instead of pushing them away.
Yes.
In a generation of boys who can connect physically and emotionally will help heal the world.
Good God. You said a mouthful right there. You said two powerful words at the end: connection and heal. This is the last point we want to make at this broadcast. This has been astronomical. This has been powerful. Praise be to God. We have to learn how to stop separating our boys from not learning how to touch and not showing emotion. If we continue on this road, we are actually destroying ourselves. The scripture says that we destroy ourselves for lack of knowledge. And when you get to a certain age, like what Brother Dwight read earlier about a young man talking about his son at an age of 9. He said, no, you're going to grow. I'm going to stop kissing you. I'm going to start hugging you. No more of that. No, you need to continue that, because that's why we have so many problems in our relationships today, because men don't know how to show emotion for the women in their life. All they know is sex, having a sexual act and having a release through an orgasm, and that's all they know. And any other reaction they have or connection they have is through violence. And that's why we have such a big problem with domestic violence, because of touch isolation. And that's the enemy's. That's the enemy's job, is to do that. But you need to get in contact with your sons. Touch your sons. Men, touch your sons. I don't care how old. If you have not, and you may have sons 10, 15, 12, I don't know how old, 30, 40, 50 years old. Grab that son, tell him that you love that. Tell him that you love him. And every time you see him, and eventually he'll get used to him. He'll start doing it in return. That's what we do here at MSF. We greet each other with a holy kiss each and every week. Whenever we see each other, we do that to let each other know that we love each other. We got your back. Anytime you need to talk, we only a phone call away. We're around, we'll be there. That's what you would have to do to stop this homophobic fear among men and destroying the lives of men, because we don't understand how important what touch is, because touch really gives life, not death. Praise be to God. Woo! Brother Dwight, man, this has been a powerful broadcast.
It was.
Good God from Zion. We thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast. We want you to reach out to us by phone. You can call me directly at 919-482-5850. We're going to have our new website coming up before Thanksgiving. And we'll have a new number for you so you can call us. Brother Dwight is working on some things with another. God has brought another person into the fold to help us with the broadcast, which is going to be out of this world. We're going to be talking about this thing this coming Saturday. So look for great things from the Trauma Network. We look forward to talking to you real soon. Well, next week's broadcast is going to be another powerful broadcast. I got it here. It ties into what we were talking about tonight. Men and forgiveness. How we can help us release our fear of shame, resentment, and self-judgment. Praise be to God. So we're gonna touch up. We're gonna hit it home again. All right. We hope that you're getting something out of these broadcasts. We look forward to talking to you real soon, Brother Dwight.
It's not what happens to you. It's how you handle it that really matters.
Finally, the secret is out.
Even strong men struggle.
Praise be to God. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you on next week.